Que bueno, mi gente. Calix Boxing here, getting some vitamin D and exercise. Hit that sub button, hit the alert so you know when I'm getting these videos out in real time. Hit the like button, and also hit me up on Instagram, Calix Boxing 2.0. Haney versus Linares. What did I think? The extremes are out in force right now, right? It was funny seeing the past 2 days either Haney was exposed as a fraud for what happened in the last 3 rounds, or Haney's the greatest thing since sliced bread if you let his fanboys tell it. So as always, the truth is somewhere in the gray, and if you want the truth, you want the gray area, come here. Because Haney wasn't exposed, but there are some serious questions that need to be answered for what happened in the last 3 rounds. So he's not the greatest thing since sliced bread either. I thought Haney did a very good job, a great job in the first 9 rounds of thwarting Linares' offense, and he did that by offense. His offense was his defense. He used the jab as an offensive weapon. He can use it as a defensive weapon as well. This guy has a lot of attributes in the ring, a lot of technical skill, a lot of natural ability. He's a big lightweight, big 135-pounder who knows how to use his size. He knows how to use that reach to keep his opposition at bay. He knows how to use that jab, upstairs, downstairs, very good jab. He can use it as a defensive weapon as well when his opposition is coming forward. And he'll smother you on the inside if you try to do any inside work, which is why I'm not the biggest fan of Haney, to be quite honest, because anybody who watches this channel knows I like inside fighting. He's not much of an inside fighter. If you come on the inside, try to get some shots off, he's going to smother you. So I thought Haney did an excellent job in the first 9 rounds of using that offense. I only had him losing 1 round against a guy who Linares still looked pretty sharp for his age. He's well past his prime, but still looked pretty sharp for his age and wanted to win this fight. However, the 10th round happened. It happened. We can't unsee that. The 10th round did happen. We can't just gloss over that. Got hit, got hurt. The end of the 10th round, I felt he lost all 3 of the last rounds, lost the championship rounds, and that's sort of the opposite of what I saw coming in as what would happen. I thought Linares would have his moments early and then fade late, and Haney's youth would come into play late in the fight. Much of like what happened with Lomachenko versus Linares. Lomachenko was having some issues early and then started to pick Linares apart. In this case, it was the opposite, and that's worrisome. It's worrisome. The youth should have showed late in the fight, more so than the experience. I didn't like how he reacted to being hurt. You know, he saved himself by doing a lot of holding. And another thing that I didn't like is he has 2 people in his corner talking. And to me, that leads to overthinking things. It leads to not having a clear and concise plan when things go wrong. It's fine when things are going right, but when things started to go wrong in that 10th round, I felt like just watching the corner, there was chaos there. And Haney survived. He survived. So was it a great performance? No. Was he exposed? No. It was just a good performance, a B-level performance from a guy with a high ceiling, a lot of talent, but I guess I was expecting more from Haney coming into this fight. I predicted a 116, 112 type of performance, which ended up happening, but I thought it would happen in a different way. You can't unsee those last 3 rounds. So some of the rumors that we've been hearing about sparring sessions where Haney's been hurt, he's a little chinny, maybe we're confirmed. Or can we just chalk it up to Haney starting off too quick in order to thwart Linares' offense? And they talked about that in the locker room after the fight. Linares and Haney were talking, and Linares was telling him, look, man, you did a good job of coming out strong. And Haney told him, I did that because I wanted to, you said you were going to come out aggressive, and I wanted to thwart your offense. So smart move, but can you keep up that pace for 12 rounds? And we have to question whether Haney can keep up that pace for 12 rounds against elite opposition, because there's another level to this. This is a gatekeeper opponent, Linares. There's another level to this. What happens when he fights a Teofimo? What happens when he fights a Lomachenko? What happens when he fights a Ryan Garcia? Guys who have finishing power. There's a difference between hurting a guy and then finishing the job when you hurt someone. Linares can hurt people, but does he have that finishing power at this point in the game? Lomachenko does. Teofimo does, especially Teofimo. Ryan Garcia does. All right, so you have to start to question these things with Haney, but was it due to him just starting early? Are we reading too much into this? Is it just him stepping up for the first time, inexperience, not knowing how to deal with that? You know, it could be those things. We could be overthinking this a bit, but some serious questions have arose from from what happened in those last 3 rounds. We can't unsee it. We can't unsee it. So with Haney, he passed this test, but when we talk about that next level, there's still some questions were answered in this fight. You know, Haney did a great job of boxing in those first 9 rounds against another great technical boxer, but some other questions are arising that he needs to answer once he gets to that next level. And there are some serious questions to be answered. So overall, I thought Haney did a great job through 9 rounds, and then the last 3 rounds, not so much. Not so much. And it's ironic that some of my criticisms of Linares in the pre-fight ended up being criticisms of Haney, and that Linares has always been a fighter who looks great. You see him fight 2 or 3 rounds, he looks like one of the best fighters in the world, but then all of a sudden he gets hurt, and then it all goes out the window, and he looks like a very average fighter. And that happened with Haney in this fight. For 9 rounds, he looked like one of the top fighters in the world, and then for those last 3 rounds, he looked very average and pedestrian. So some serious questions that need to be answered with Haney. And another, I mean, is this a one-off? Are we reading too much into those last 3 rounds? Could it have been him dropping weight down to 135? Remember Cotto at the end of his run at 140? Cotto was being hurt by guys like Paulie Malignaggi late in his run at 140. So it could just be weight, you know? Maybe he needs to move up to 140 sooner than later. So we'll see as time goes on. But overall, decent performance from Haney. Did what he had to do. He's moving on to the next level. After watching those last 3 rounds, I'm not so sure they're going to move him up to that next level right away. Maybe in the 2021, they put him in there with a lighter touch, and then they fight Teofimo in 2022, maybe at 140. Maybe they fight Lomachenko at 135. Who knows? Who knows Ryan Garcia when he comes available. But right now, I think they're going to take it a little slower with Haney after those last 3 rounds than they expected maybe coming into the fight. So overall, B-level performance from Haney. Wasn't exposed, I don't think, but at the same time, wasn't the great performance that a lot of people were expecting. Somewhere in the middle. Haney moves on, man. And more, another video, because I want to speak more on two voices in the corner, because I think that really did a disservice to Haney, and I think that he needs to figure out, does he want his dad in the corner? Does he want Davison in the corner? He needs to figure out one voice in the corner, because 2 voices, especially when things go to chaos, can be a disservice to the fighter. I'm out, man. God bless. Peace.